Good morning, UPB It is March 3rd. It's a Monday. It's March. Welcome to March. You can see stock futures are noticeably lower here. We hit new fresh all-time highs on the S&P 500 ETF, the spiders. This is the S&P 500 futures. And you can see we dipped late in the session before recovering. And then we came up and just about at the lows of Friday's session. That's where we started the future session there last night. And we're kind of channeling here, consolidating for a move higher or lower. I don't know. We're off our lows this morning. See where we head from here. But a lot of the high beta names taking on the chin early in pre-market. But you can look from a longer-term perspective. I brought this up. Go to the blog at optionmillionaires.com. Every name sell-off, meaning, Cyprus, Syria. We had the European debt zone crisis. We had Greece, Portugal, Ireland. The list goes on and on. We had the sequester. We had the debt limit. We had the debt downgrade. Look at the trend. Look at the trend, and you go back from a longer-term perspective. Same thing. Each of the dips has been a tremendous buying opportunity. I don't know if this one's going to be any different, but I'm pretty sure, judging by what's been going on in the last 5 years, it's going to be the same. And I think ultimately what's going to lead to a big sell-off is when we get that 400% down day on the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the 2 to 3% down day for the S&P 500 with no news. But let's look at some charts here real quick. We'll start off the week. We have earnings coming out. Friday we have Foot Locker. We have Big Lots this week. We have Smith & Wesson. But it's really, earnings season's winding down. So I'd like to focus just on some stocks in general. Facebook. I brought up Facebook the last couple of weeks, and you can see it's breaking down here. And if you look from a shorter term perspective, and I brought this up at StockTwits in the blog at optionmillionaires.com. You can go even closer here. Then we had a nice head and shoulders pattern. We're breaking lower, so I'd look at support here at about the 66 level. And actually, if you go to StockTwits, I said it was going to break when it was at 70 and change. I said it was going to break 68. And ultimately, 66 is the target. We'll see if it breaks down further from there. But obviously, it's going to get back in style at some point. I would not rule out higher prices. But right now, hey, pull back. And, that's what happens in this market. When everybody's bullish on something, that's when it does the exact opposite. So Facebook, look for a pullback here. $66 level before we see a nice spike to the upside. How about Tesla? Tesla's pulling back here. Tesla closed the day at 244. It's at 235. You can see this gap. I think this gap's going to get filled. Hey, I'm one of the most bullish people on Tesla. I've been throughout the last 9 to 10 months. And I've talked about Tesla even back in December when it was at $120, going over $200, and it did. Not only did it go over $200, and I said ultimately it's going to hit $300, $350, $400 a share, but going to that 265 level. Now it's pulling back. I think it's going to pull back further here. 235 could possibly fill this gap. That would be something that you'd like to see, and before continuing to the upside. So that's Tesla. How about the bond market? Bonds have been mysteriously rising along with stocks. Okay, we hit new all-time highs on Friday with in the overall stock market, and yet bonds continue to get a bid. And you can see actually pre-market we're over this 109 level. And if you look from a longer term perspective, you could say maybe a cup. We're going to pull up, maybe handle a little bit back in this channel. I'm very bearish on bonds, but obviously it's not working out so well. And you would have to say people are buying bonds because they're a little scared in this market, I guess. I don't know. I look at it and I just see a move back down to this level would imply higher interest rates, and I think at some point we're going to see that. But what people investing in bonds are telling you is they don't see that coming. So maybe my perspective is wrong. It's possible. I didn't buy any options on TLT recently, but we'll see how it trades from here. How about GDX? We pull out the drawings off, and you just see it could be bottoming here. The one line I do have up in the sand here is the $28 level. We're getting close to that, and once we hit that, that's going to be interesting to see if we get the resistance and then pull back. I liken FCX a lot to the GDX chart, GDX to the FCX chart, which has really respected this trend line here. Tried to get up to it recently, pulled back. I see the same thing happening with GDX that's going to happen with FCX. The ultimate plunge down into the teens, which is going to happen maybe over the next year or two. but really hasn't come to fruition with the head and shoulders pattern that I thought was ultimately going to break it down to the downside. Has not happened. Kind of hanging on. It's like, not yet. How about eBay? eBay, from a long-term perspective, been talking about this one for a while. Look at that channel, broke to the upside. This is very bullish. Very bullish. A year and a half of consolidation before breaking out to the upside. Yeah, this is going to be over $60 probably within the next couple weeks. 65. This could be the next Yahoo. We've seen Yahoo break out to the upside, consolidating. Woo. So Yahoo made a big move from the start of 2013, really the end of 2012, the Abenomics low, so to speak. Yahoo, from a chart perspective, right up against resistance here. So we'll see if we can hold on to the gains that the stock has had. How about JCPenney? JCPenney is a stock I said when it was up in the teens. I said this is a stock that once it broke this level was going to go bankrupt. Look what it did today. Not today, I would say on Friday. Look at this downward trend line from the middle of 2012. And then look what happened. We broke above it. So is it going to fake us out here and go to the 1250 level? Is the downside potential gone for JCPenney? We'll see, especially today. It's going to be symbolic, really, if all the retailers are down, but JCPenney is up 3 to 5% again. We could be looking to move up to that 1250 level. And could I be wrong about the overall perspective for JCPenney? And it going bankrupt? It's possible. One last retailer, Sears Holdings. JB's on this one. If you look from a long-term charting perspective, we broke above this level here, the $42 level on this long-term trend line. I'm looking for a move to 60. If we break that 60 level, you're looking at a move over 100, possibly 110, which is very possible considering the extensive amount of short interest and the fact that the insiders continue to buy shares of the stock and shares of the company. One last chart before we call it a day. We have earnings from Foot Locker. Foot Locker has been in a beautiful uptrend. This is a 10-year monthly chart. Obviously, hasn't been trading. Let's just go in a little bit shorter time frame. And you can see it's kind of consolidating. Here's a beautiful bull flag. So I'd look for Foot Locker on Friday, hoping for a pullback. A little bit of a pullback here, maybe at a $41 level. That would still not negate the bullish perspective from a charting perspective. And I'd look for a move over 42 post-earnings. That's Friday, before the bell. And we also have Big Lots. Let me just bring up Big Lots real quick, which is broke above support and resistance. Big Lots looks great here. We have earnings before the bell on Thursday. And I'm looking maybe for a little consolidation here before a blast of over 30, which I've been calling for quite some time. Look at the rally we had last week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 straight days to the upside for Big Lots. You can see the decline that it's had really from the start of December. Last earnings report from the $39 level. Looking for a move up to 30. We had Dollar Tree report earnings last week. Came out, the earnings report stunk, but yet the stock rallied 6%. That's kind of what I'm looking for on Thursday before the bell. Big Lots. All right, everyone, have a great trading session. I'll see you in the chat room at optionmillionaires.com. Stock futures are off their lows, but you can see bumping up against the channel here. If you brought a channel up, and ultimately, let's see if we get the move out of this channel to the upside. Buy the dip. Buy the dip. Every name sell off has been a great buying opportunity for stocks since the lows in 2009. UPB, optionmillionaires.com. Everyone have a great week. Goodbye.